Alright guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. So today, we're going to be playing some Risk of Rain 2, and let me see if I can turn this game down a little bit, it's a little loud. It's been a little while. I just thought we'd try something different, similar to Crab Champions in terms of the way the game is played, but I did add some mods to kind of make the game a little bit more interesting. So as you can see, there's a little bit more characters here than we would normally have, and some of the characters have some additional skins. Like obviously Bandit here with the Nutcracker skin. We got this one where he's kind of like a snow globe. That one's really cool. Obviously we have the Void Fiend, the Assassin, Desolator, Tesla Trooper, Executioner, Spearman.
Three guns means never having to say
this is
I'm
just because
sorry.
Jinx is probably one of my favorite characters from League of Legends. When I started playing that game initially, she was not quite released yet, but she was one of the first characters that I actually got after playing the game for a little while. And the ADC role is probably one of my favorite ones, so I just have kind of a connection with the character, which is why I wanted to do the mod, because it actually feels really good in this game. So we do have some additional artifacts as well that we've got from mods. We're not going to turn any of those on today, but what we are going to do is we're going to look at the difficulties. And obviously we have quite a few more options here. So we have Sunny, which is easier than Drizzle, which is the easiest difficulty. Rainstorm, we have Thunderstorm, which adds higher difficulty scaling. Monsoon, which originally in the game is the hardest standard difficulty you can do. Which obviously just makes things a little bit harder. The game scales faster, the enemies are just generally harder, quicker. And then we go on to Typhoon, which gets kind of bizarre. It starts to get really crazy. Calypso, which is absolutely nutty. Tempest. It says, Hell hath no fury like the planets. The end is nigh. So that's obviously really indicative of how hard it is. So 200% difficulty scaling. And keep in mind, the game continues to get harder and harder. It also gives enemies Shattering Justice, which lowers your defense. So when you get hit, you're either dead or really close to dead. And then if you get hit again, you're definitely dead. So this one, Armageddon, is the hardest difficulty that you can pick. Obviously, as you can see, the enemies have a lot of starting items, as well as a 57-leaf clover, which increases their proc coefficient for all of their items that they have, essentially. They also do AoE damage, and have damage reduction on the first hit from the Opal. So what we're going to do is we're going to play on Typhoon, because I've beaten the game several times on Monsoon. Obviously I have several of the skins on the characters. We're going to go ahead and give this a shot on a difficulty higher than the hardest original difficulty, but not the hardest difficulty that we can play on. I will say we do have some additional items in the mods that we've chosen. I'll make the game play a little bit differently. So there are some items, they're not absolutely overpowered, but they definitely do help. And it's just kind of nice to have some additional things on the pool. So if you guys aren't familiar with Risk of Rain 2, so essentially the focus here is kind of similar to Crab Champions, just in a bit of a different format. So you pretty much kill enemies in waves, and the longer the game goes on, the harder the game gets, right? Obviously we know that the difficulty scaling is increased because of the difficulty that we chose. So just keep that in mind when you're playing, that sometimes playing fast is good, sometimes taking your time is good. It really just depends on you as a player, and kind of your comfortability with it. But sometimes taking too long on a stage can be a detriment to your playthrough. There is generally 6 stages, but you can consistently loop around and keep going back. Essentially make it an endless run. Most of the game definitely gets a bit draining after a certain point. Either your character becomes so strong that you die, or you run around forever unable to kill things. So it can get quite interesting. And the cool thing with Jinx too, when she kills a lead enemy, she gains a movement speed boost, just like she does in League. When she kills a champion, she gets a movement speed boost and an attack speed boost, which makes her feel, I feel like, significantly better. And I think that's part of like what makes her feel so viable here. She just feels like she can do so much in this game based off of the kit that she was given. And the funny thing is you can use her ult to make her fly around. So, like if I shoot it directly at the ground, we'll fly pretty far. Or if I run up right here and do it. It knocks you back. Kind of cool. Just something to keep in mind. You can use it as a tool to get away because she doesn't have a lot of movement other than when she kills elites and gets that movement speed increase. So using her ult like this could obviously get you away from a dangerous situation while also still doing that AoE damage to the enemies that are around you as well. So, kind of good utility there if you use it in that way. The cool thing about Jinx too is her rockets function exactly like they do in League. So if you're at all familiar with it, you shoot the minigun and it increases your attack speed up to 3 stacks. And then once your stacks are maxed, you can switch to your rockets and you keep the stacks for a couple seconds. So you have increased attack speed with your rockets for a couple seconds while you have it out like this. So it's a really effective way to switch between some AoE damage and have a couple faster attacks in the earlier game while you have lower attack speed. So definitely again some additional utilization you can have there from that.
Starting to board.
If you guys are interested ever in looking at how to do mods, I use an application called R2 Modman. They have a lot of different options for games and a lot of different mods that people create for the games. So it's really a good thing to utilize. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend it for everybody if it's not your cup of tea. I was a little skeptical about doing mods at first, but not going too overboard. It adds a bit more fun sometimes to some of the things that you're doing in the game. Just dependent on kind of what you're doing. And we're going to die here. So the thing with this golem, you kind of want to find some of the guys behind Fiona. Yeah, see, I knew that was coming. So, we're going to go ahead and give that another shot. This time we're going to play Huntress, because she is probably one of my favorite characters. And it looks like we have some new things for her, so let's go ahead and try these out. I haven't tried these before. Like I said, we're going to keep it on the new difficulty, see how this feels. Now, Huntress is one of my favorite characters because she kind of just has everything as a package from the beginning of the game. Like, you don't have to do much to really get Huntress going, I feel like. It doesn't feel like they were really hitting the enemy there, to be honest with you. I'm not certain how I feel about these. What's she doing up in this one by yourself? I think there's somebody in the Discord. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna pause the video.
Oh. If you hear.
I apologize for that, guys. Yeah, my friend's telling me in Discord the second to join us. That's my bad. Gotta let him know what I was doing in here. I have no idea what these do. I should have read them today. Alright. I'm actually going to switch. I do not like that auto attack at all on her. What does this do? Quickly fire a non-seeking arrow with sticks for, then explodes after a short delay. Both hits trigger on hit effect. So that's actually really good. Hard light net, slows, nah. We'll kind of stick with her standard abilities, and we'll go with her normal one here, just so that we can do some additional damage earlier on. So let's kind of look around, see what we got here for items. So I have a mod that puts League of Legends items in the game as well. Keep in mind, I haven't played League in like several years, so it's not like I'm a big League fan. It's just, you know, at one point it was a big part of my life, so having the items in here is really nice for the nostalgia purposes, and clearly the way they function in this game is a bit different from the original. But they're still really cool, just because it kind of adds that different aspect of having these items in the game. But we also have a mod that adds original Risk of Rain 1 items into the game as well. Which is really fun too, because that adds again another layer of depth for the itemization of the game, which I really like personally. So really what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to stack up a bit of damage, and then once I get a bit more damage, we're just going to go to the boss right away. I don't want to stay on this stage too long, and this is just the way that I kind of like to play when I'm playing by myself, so I don't like to linger on the stage. Usually when I do play with friends, we usually stay on the stage for a bit longer. I didn't want to do a boss fight with absolutely no damage items, so having the one that I just picked up would be kind of nice. We'll hit the shrine here real quick, just to see if I happen to get something good, then I happen to get something. If not, that's alright. Doesn't actually do anything for me. So you're moving away because of the staying tight in the vein and you're get scared, which obviously it's not. We're going to beat a queen. I hate the Beta Queen because of how many minions she summons, but I swear they changed it and now she summons more, which it used to not be that bad. She used to be kind of the worst boss, the easiest to beat boss. Now I feel like she's actually kind of formidable if you let her stack up too many of the minions. Which again, she summons an absolute ton of them. Anyway, if you guys do happen to play Huntress at any point, keep in mind you can use her ult, sending you into the air to avoid the lasers on the Stone Titan. You just have to do it right to get the additional leverage. And after we kill these two lovely guys here, we're going to go see if we can pick up a few more items before we leave here. We didn't get an absolute ton of money from that, but we got some. And then just a fun tip for you guys. If you see items like this, where it says critical strikes heal you, or critical strikes in the name, and it's implying that doing critical strikes will add an additional benefit. Generally, when they have that wording, they also give you an innate 5%, to your critical rate. So picking up those items, even if you don't have crit rate, is pretty massive because they do help get you closer to having 100% crit rate, and that 5% can be pretty big. We'll hit the shrine real quick, just since it's right here. And I lied, I saw another item a little bit up here at the top. I kind of want to see if we have enough for these things over here. Not because we need them, I feel like that fight wasn't too bad, but just kind of because any additional items here would be nice. And I feel like gasoline is a good item to pick up, but move faster before Twilight over in boss fights, strike an enemy, increases critical strike chance against them until critical hit lands. So those are items that I have added by using the mods. If anybody is curious, please ask a comment regarding what mods I'm using. I'd be more than happy to let you guys know. I do have quite a bit of them downloaded to kind of add a bit more variety to the game here. So if for whatever reason you guys don't see the same items or your game seems different than mine, that's probably why. Now the cool thing about void fields is that the void enemies fight the regular enemies. That's good. Also a good thing to know about the void enemies is to be careful, because sometimes, not all of the time, but sometimes they do spit out a little bug that will turn other enemies into void enemies. And you definitely don't want that, because void enemies can be kind of scary. But we do want to get in here and get whatever items we can, because void items also, depending on which ones you get the option to get, can be some of the best items you have in an entire run. Absolutely game-changing items. I always go for them. In this run so far, I don't really have a good way to heal, unfortunately. And keep an eye out for that blinking purple dot on your screen if you're really wanting to kill all the void enemies, because that's actually showing you where the rest are. Now this void field will go away. We can come down here and save 50% of our health. We get a free item. And we died. I killed myself. For a legendary item. Because I'm dumb. Ah, gosh, I should have thought about what I was doing. Alright, guys. So for a brief 20-minute video, we're going to go ahead and just call it here. Like I said, if you guys happen to have any questions about the mods or anything like that, we're going to keep playing until we get a win on all of the difficulties for this game. So stay tuned for that. If you guys have any additional questions, any mods that you want to recommend or see, or even if you just want to know what mods they have, we can kind of go through our two Modman together on a video, and just kind of check everything out. So just kind of let me know in the comments below if you guys have any additional questions, anything you want to see in a future video, and I'd be more than happy to give anything a try. Just leave a comment. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. You guys have a great day. Bye.